What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Screen Work Entertainment. Today we're going over Andor, episode 5, The Axe Forgets. FYI, there will be some spoilers following this discussion, but overall, I thought it was a pretty good episode. It was another slow episode, nonetheless. But we get a lot of story. We figure out what they're after, what's going on, their plan, how ill prepared they actually are, the Aldani rebels. We get some of Karn, which I told you last episode that I thought we were going to get him, more of him this episode. And we find out, how big of a mama's boy he is, which I thought was pretty damn
Yeah, it
funny.
was pretty amusing. His mom, dude, that chick is hard to take, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Yes.
lady's a great
My
actress because
God.
she nailed it. She annoyed the hell
Yeah.
out of me.
Yeah. She was pretty. I love how she keeps saying over and over and over. Do you have any prospects? No matter what he said, she would just repeat. Do you have any prospects over and over? It's like, man, she is not letting up
Oh
at
yeah,
all.
she's got to remind him he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, exactly,
You're an
exactly. She's got
unemployed
to
piece of
remind him.
crap living with your mother. Go find a job.
uh, yes, and that was the point she was trying to get across.
And boy, did she ever. If
Yes.
you don't have any
Uh,
prospects, let's call your uncle.
I know, I know. I'm really curious if he plays Uncle Harlow, if he plays a bigger part.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see
Kind of,
who he
kind
might
of
be.
curious. Yeah, yeah. Same here.
Yeah, because he's just Karn. When we get back to him, he's just in dismay of how he's sunk. Uh, he's
Yeah,
lost his job. He's back with his mom, and she's feeding him breakfast cereal like a child.
with blue milk. I
The
love the blue
bantha
milk.
milk.
That's the one thing that I actually noticed was the blue milk. I was like, hey, I know the blue milk. So I actually caught something. I was proud of myself.
And there was a couple of little Easter eggs to other Star Wars stuff. But since like there was the crate head, but you haven't seen Mandalorian. So you wouldn't have any idea about
Yeah.
that. The crate dragon. That's why it was scarring his tattoo or Skeen. I'm sorry.
Oh,
And
okay,
and
okay.
Andor
Yeah,
says
skiing.
because Skeen asks him, you know what that is, and he says crate head. It's
And
a
I thought that gained him a little trust, but it didn't.
no, that's a Tatooine thing.
So we go to Cassian and how they don't trust him.
Yeah,
The rebels,
yeah, cuts back to Cassian. He's waking up. He kind of gazes around, realizes all his stuff's gone.
but he still got the stone. That's the one thing he still got
Yeah, he
on
had to
him.
check, make sure he still had that, and then he looks and
Yeah.
sees everybody's gone. And he's like, "What the hell?"
Yes.
But then just finds out that they're checking him out, see what might be going on.
Which what I liked about this scene, which is kind of subtle, is whenever Skeen asked him about the weapon that he took from
Yeah,
Karn, uh, Cassian, he just says, "Oh, it's just some officer I took it from." But on the other
that's not
side,
what he said.
well,
He's,
he pretty much that's what he
well,
said.
he said I didn't
I
have a
mean,
chance to get the name.
yeah,
Yes.
he didn't really care to get the name either. It just he doesn't care to get the
Well,
guy's
yeah.
name because to him he's just another imperial bastard,
Well,
imperial
he
scum.
was a corporate guy.
So yeah, corporate guy, which are all scum, right? But on the other foot, Karn, he is now obsessed with Cassian, and he blames Cassian for all his failures, which I think is cool to see both both
I
sides
don't
of
know
it.
if he blames him for the failures, but he realizes that he has fallen, and it is partially because of Andor, but he wants to try to redeem himself to find him. Is what I'm is kind of what I'm gathering from it.
But he also seems a little bit obsessed with him. You know
Well,
how he's just
yeah,
sitting there
because
staring at that
he's
hologram.
fallen from grace. He's he's hell bent on trying to redeem himself,
I don't
especially
know if you get your
yeah,
mom.
especially with his mom on his ass like
Yeah.
she is.
So after Cassian gets all of his stuff back and gets interrogated by the rebels, we go back over. Actually, no, no. Before that, we get the title of the show through Keen or Skeen. Sorry, Skeen. The axe forgets what the tree remembers.
And while we're still on that scene, the his other Skeen's other tattoo, he's got the crate head with the barcode, but the one by the hand, that's the one that I don't know about. After we leave the Aldani rebels, we get to see Mon Mothma and her lovely
Yes.
home life.
Yeah, lovely. I love the argument with her daughter in her father, her father or her husband is just doesn't say a word.
Yeah,
Just sits there with his arms crossed, doesn't say anything at all. She's like, "You gonna help me? Are you gonna say anything?"
yeah,
Nope, not
yeah.
a word.
Parents
Doesn't
silent.
even
The only
care.
time he speaks is when the daughter says that he's gonna take me to whatever function, and he says it's got to be cleared by her. It's the only thing he says. He is no help. It's obvious that is a deeply divided house. It's parent and the
Yeah,
daughter against Mon Marthma. She stands on her own.
yeah, she's on her own 100%. They think that she's just there trying to look good, try to get publicity, and they resent her for that, I guess, especially her daughter. So
Yeah, that's
that's why she didn't want to go with her.
definitely not a good home life for Mon Marthma. That is.
Well, after this, when we go back to Cassian, we learn that they don't know how to fly this craft, how to do the launch.
Yeah, he finds out they are very ill prepared.
Extremely. I thought that was pretty funny. He's like, "You're telling me you don't know how to do this," and they're like, "No, no, we do." No, you're telling me you don't know how to do this. I was like, "Nice." He's like, "What would you have done without me? What would you have done if I wasn't here?
Yeah,
We would have just fumbled through
yeah,
it."
they think they would have figured it out. It might have been ugly, but we would have got it. They would have been dead.
Speaking of dead, I really think that Nimic is gonna die during the
Do you?
heist. I do, yeah. He's too nice. He's too like he wants the rebellion. He's all for the
Oh yeah,
rebellion. He's like that
he's a
nerdy,
true
cool
believer
guy.
for sure in the rebellion.
Yeah, true
Sees
believer.
oppression everywhere.
Yes, and he even trusts Cassian. I don't think he's gonna make it out alive. I think even maybe even Skeen dies. I mean, not during a heist, but like before the season. Well, maybe by the end of this season, maybe.
I don't know. I don't know who's going to make it out. It's going to be interesting, but hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get all that next episode.
Well, I also like how we kind of get a little bit of each one's story. Why each one is there.
Yeah,
Why Skeen's there. You know why Mimic's there, or Nimic keeps calling him Mimic.
yeah. You learn a little bit about all of them. He also learned that Val and Senta seem to kind of be a item. Yeah, because Val thinks that Andor might be trying to kind of move in on her territory, and she doesn't appreciate that on a couple of different times. After that, we finally returned to Ferrix for the first time after the big commotion and learn that the Empire has moved in and are now setting up a headquarters.
He's basically kicking everyone out of that building, and the only thing he's worried about is his comfort, but everyone else is being kicked out.
I didn't get that. What I got was problem with Blevin. That's the one that's on Ferrix because Ferrix is his territory. His little underling, from what I gathered, his underling was only concerned with trying to get rank. Well, not really rank, but a
Y-
title out of it because he knew there was no pay raise, but he just wanted a new title for. And after that, we go back to Miro, and she's with one of her subordinates, and he concludes with her that it's too random to be random, and she makes and she had the quote, "If I was them, this is how I would do it."
Yeah, so she is definitely on their trail,
Yes.
and that's why they hired her in the first place is because,
Well,
you know.
no, well, yeah, but she's on a different, her territory is different than what Ferrex is and all this other stuff. And they're still not believing that somebody got into that Imperial Naval shipyard or whatever to steal that box that Andor had that he was going to sell to Luthen.
Yeah, because who would do
Yeah,
that,
they're still
Yeah.
convinced nobody would be able to do it because they're looking
Yeah.
everywhere else. But that's the only time we
Yep.
see Miro, or her, or her enemy Blevin. There's just two little quick back-to-back short scenes, and that's all we get from the
Yep.
ISB in this episode.
I don't know if we get him next episode either. I think next episode is just gonna be action
Yeah,
packed.
next episode I think is going to be pretty much just all uh, the rebels on Aldani and complete the heist.
Well, did you notice like whenever they have all the guns out and everything, the rebels and Cassian, and that Tie Fighter comes by?
Mm.
When that Tie Fighter comes by and it's real low, how it scares everybody, but the goats don't move at all. They're not even affected. Did you notice that?
I did not, but it makes sense because they're filming the shit and CGIing in the TIE fighter.
Yeah, exactly. So the goat, yeah, has no idea what's
You
going
think they
on. He's
would
like, I
have
don't know what you guys are
prepared
doing.
for that and like maybe had somebody with an air porn to just kind of spook them a little bit?
Yeah,
Now, see,
yeah,
damn it!
yeah,
Now I got to go
exactly.
back and look at that scene again to see that. Yeah, so that's when we click over to Lieutenant Gorns there at the garrison, and he's got his guys asking to go see the eye because that's the
Yeah,
only point of taking that station, that assignment, is that you might get lucky and be there for the eye. So they're asking for only an essential roster to be manning stuff, which is falling right into his plan because that's what he
yeah.
wants.
Get
Yep.
everybody out. That's also why he wanted to clean up that monument outside. You know how he was all mad that they were doing using it for shooting practice.
Well, see, did you notice when, because when Terriman was kind of laying out when they were first opening up and showing Andor more of the plan, he was talking about temples.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if that might have been because it's not really a temple, but it's an old. You can tell it's a ancient structure.
Well, I looked it up and I was told that it could be a force
Hmm.
monument. That's what they're thinking, a holy site.
Yeah, it's probably one of
So
these little temple type things because they're talking. Yeah, that he was laying out, and yeah, that's one of the things because it's disrespectful to be using it for target practice,
yeah, exactly.
and because
Yeah.
these people, I guess they migrate there for this eye celebration.
Because they were saying how if you're on the ground, it looks beautiful, but if you're up in space in the sky, it looks
Yeah,
terrifying.
and they're
Okay,
using that to cover their
as
getaway. Yeah,
cover. So I think next episode is gonna be a good episode. I'm really looking forward
yeah.
to it.
It's going to be interesting. Oh,
Then
that was one thing that got me that I noticed because Lieutenant Gorn mentioned that someone from Coruscant was going to be at the garrison that evening. So the eve before this big heist, someone from Coruscant, the capital of the Empire, is going to be at that armory, and I'm wondering who that might be, how that's going to play into this. That's got me really curious.
is that going to be a guy for the rebel team, or is he going to be a thorn in their
Well,
side?
being that Coruscant is the Empire's headquarters, probably going to be a thorn in their side.
I feel like there's someone up there who is a rebel. I really do. Who is undercover?
Yeah,
I
that's
really
Lieutenant
feel that
Gorn,
way.
dude.
No, I mean like not Gorin, but I'm talking about like
Yeah,
Miro.
from the
Yeah,
ISB.
Miro. Yeah, I meant there. I think someone up there is a
Oh, from
spy.
the Empire CIA.
Yes, yes.
Well, speaking of spies, because when we leave the garrison, well, it's a couple of beats down, but we're in the car with Mon Mothma and Perrin, and you notice he's kind of inquiring about her new foundation. Yeah, because they just left some little soiree, and he keeps pretending not to know the new driver's name each time because it was twice in this episode, which I find odd. So that makes me think that he may be spying on his own wife and relaying intel.
I don't know how he doesn't know there's something going on. That's why I thought he was in on it at first because it seems she seems so suspicious in the first place.
Really? I didn't get that. I think he's genuinely curious, uh, because she's not. Well, they have differences of political opinion, obviously, and he sides with the Empire's side because he's all about the power and the money and the stature, and
Yeah,
that's why she makes the
yeah, you can
quip
definitely tell that.
saying, "I didn't think you'd be interested in it because it's charitable."
I don't guess I caught
Yeah,
that.
and it kind of sounds like he's trying to gather some intel, and he might be relaying this information back to someone in either the ISB or the Empire somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah, maybe.
that short little scene in the car ride home from the party is just it told so much in just that short time because they're hugging complete opposite sides of that back seat. They want nothing to do with one another.
No,
And then he's just
no, you're right.
inquiring, saying he learned more about what she's doing from somebody else than from her. Curious about this foundation.
Yeah, I think she might get picked up after they're done with this little heist. I think she might get picked up.
You think they're gonna sniff her out?
Yeah, I think they're gonna sniff her out. Yeah, especially if he's against her. If he's already suspicious.
Yeah. Or is she able to sway him to her side?
the way that family dynamic is going,
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
see that
see it either,
happening.
but you never know. But yeah, you don't know. Could he be genuinely interested, or is he a go between, uh, telling the Empire of her every move?
I really thought the first episode, I thought he was in on it, like with her. But the more and more I watched it, the more and more we started talking about it, the more and more I realized, no, not at all.
No, because one of the names that he dropped was like I don't know, like the emperor's right hand person is like almost the chief of staff position, and
Okay.
saying that they would be more that they're fun people. They're interesting. They're not stuffy like she is.
Yeah. Yeah. Next one I think is gonna be awesome. I really do. Like really, really excited to watch the next episode.
Yeah, because if it's anything like the whole incident in Ferrex, yeah, it's going to be great because that was awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and so after that car ride, uh, we cut back to the rebels, and Skeen finally makes up with Andor
Hmm.
after Andor actually, well, because we missed something going to the car ride, because as a big thing is Andor, well, Skeen sniffs out the kyber crystal, and then
Yeah.
that in
Yeah.
turn makes Andor confess that yeah, he's a mercenary, he's a hired gun. Eventually, Skeen opens up, kind of forced by Val, to tell Andor why he is doing this, which his brother ended up committing suicide because the Empire came in and took over his farm and left him with nothing.
Yeah.
So he kind of opened himself after Andor opened his story up. So they can see that they're on the same team regardless of how they got there. And then we part with the rebels splitting up. You got all the guys going one way and Valencinta going the other.
Which they didn't say what they
Yeah,
were going to
and
do
when he
either.
asked, he
I was
said
like,
that they just
yeah,
said, "If everything goes right, we'll see you tomorrow night." So we
yeah,
don't know what Val and Senta, what their part of the plan is, or their part of the heist, what they're doing, but we know the guys are going into the garrison.
yeah.
And then after that, we cut to the final scene, which is Luthen, and basically he's just on edge. He's just anxious. He's checking his
Yeah,
radio to see if there's any messages, and there's not.
yeah. There's not. His assistant keeps telling him,
Yeah,
it's nothing you can do. Just go to sleep.
yeah. Tensions are high on the eve of this heist for everybody, and it's gonna. I,
Yeah,
I
I
sure
know.
hope, man. It's the like I said, the way they have their rhythm going, it's gonna make this next episode just great, and I'm really looking forward
Yes,
to it.
yeah. Me too. Me too. It's gonna be a good episode. I already
Yeah,
know it.
man. If I could get away with it, I would call in sick Wednesday just so I could watch it early instead of having to work through the day and then come in and try to watch it because I am pumped for it. But I am better with not having anything happen in this episode because for one, I was expecting it, but they did lay a
Yeah,
lot of foundation, but it wasn't boring.
yeah,
It kept
yeah.
you
It's
interested
not
and
like
had some cool scenes like the friggin' TIE fighter pulling a Maverick low flying thing.
he was just being a dick. That's all he was
Yeah.
doing. He didn't care about those people or the work they were doing. He was just
Well,
being a
yeah, that's
prick.
that's Maverick, man.
Yeah, it's Maverick.
Just doing his own thing for the sake of it. Yeah, and he
Yep.
fucking
Where's the Iceman at?
and he did a flyby on the garrison too. Looked like he was what, maybe 15 feet from clipping the damn thing.
Yeah, those Tie Fighters are cool as
Yeah,
hell.
and that was one thing we didn't get to talk about in episode 3 was the cool little scene where they're going over the different sections on the speeder bike. Remember how it'd be a little bit of a square land and then a square of water, and you see the water flying up, and then another square land, another square water. That was a cool little thing, but it was kind of a throwback to something that that last trilogy did, which was making these TIE fighters and shit like that throw up trails that it hadn't been done. But I liked it. I thought it was cool. Andor's good. 2 thumbs up. I'm
Yeah,
still digging it.
it is an awesome show, man. I like it. It's a good show, and I look forward to the next
Yeah, it's
episode.
gonna be great.
All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you watching. This is our take on episode 5, The Axe Forgets Endor. It's a freaking awesome show. I'm digging it. I can't wait for the next episode, and we hope to see you there. All right. Have a good night. Peace out.